What's going on, everybody? Echo here. Today I'm going to be doing a video that's somewhat different. I'm going to be doing a ultimate guide video. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to sit there and go one by one on how to be the best. However, there's plenty of videos out there that really can help you. But the other day I was asked, well, how can I improve? And I'm going to tell you this. This is what I personally noticed, how I ended up getting 2 masters and mid diamond and stuff like that. But beyond that would have to be, up to your own discretion. But how do you get to diamond or higher? Well, I have separated it down to this. I've always told people it's about 50% sound, 40% situational awareness, and 10% mechanical skill. I know that sounds weird about the mechanical skill being so low, but there's a lot of heroes that you don't need to personally be great at aiming, aside from Soldier 76, McCree, and Widowmaker. Well, I'm going to be categorizing this into different segments, and I'm going to be giving links to videos that helped me. So this is a class guide of class guides. Some people I found better than others to mainly explain what needs to be done in order to improve. So there's going to be multiple different content creators here. I will provide all the links in the description below with their names and all that wonderful thing. Now, if you guys liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Make sure to subscribe. I'm about to hit my 300 subs, guys. And it would mean a lot if you could do that for me. But here you go. The ultimate Overwatch guide. So let's start off with personal settings. Now, there is a video out there with dealing with crosshairs, but done by Your Overwatch. Now, I watched this video and it really did help me on deciding what crosshairs I should be using for which heroes. Also, another thing is that they didn't really explain is sensitivity though. Having the sensitivity for certain characters, it varies. Like, for example, I use an 8 sensitivity with 400 DPI settings for Widowmaker with the zoom in at 70% or 70. That's just a quick example, but Your Overwatch did do a great video on doing crosshairs. This video should really help in getting the idea of what kind of crosshair you should be using in your games. Alright, moving on. My personal settings, however, these are very subjective. When it comes down to video game settings, now these are mine. I'm going to go through it and all that stuff. I'll leave it right here so you can kind of see what I do, and we'll move on from that point on. Now, I chose these settings specifically because I have somewhat of a vision problem. So having high character models and stuff like that really do help, but I don't need all the extras and keep everything on ultra or anything like that. Actually, I keep most of my settings on low. But there's certain things I want to be able to see better, like hero effects and the heroes themselves, so that I can get a better understanding of what's going around. So those are my personal settings. If you want to try them, go for it. If not, it's really personal preference. What helps you? Now, let's move on to the sounds of Overwatch. See, with Overwatch, it is a very fast-paced game, and because it is so fast-paced, you don't get to hear everything that goes on and get a full understanding, especially if you're somewhat new to the game. There's a lot of people still coming into the game, and they have no idea, what any of the sounds are. For example, if you hear, you know to run. Well, at least I know to run. Whereas if I hear, I know that came from my team and I should either back that person up or to run away. It really comes down to that. The sounds of Overwatch are very important. Knowing when and who are ulting, whether it's your team, whether it's your enemy, those are things that really, really help. Next up is, let's say, Shotcalling. Unit Lost, Great British Gaming, did a great video on Shotcalling. What you should be saying with your teammates, and just overall in general, what you should be saying while you're playing. Being able to have cohesive and great teamwork with your team, and being able to call out very important things, like if the Winston jumped on point, or if the Tracer's out, doing whatever it wants. Being able to call out what you're doing in a mature manner and a properly executed manner is a great thing. Now, see, the problem with class glides is it's really hard to say, oh, this one's better or this one's better. So I'm going to leave that to your own discretion. However, playing the game in general is going to help. I have over 1,000 hours in Overwatch between 3 accounts, and that makes a difference from the time that I only had about 100 or so hours. I was very new to the game, finding out little tricks and tips on my own, and of course looking at other guides, really do help. One thing that I always tell people, expect to lose. It's okay. Your SR or your rating doesn't really determine the skill that you have. And it's okay to lose. Sometimes you're gonna go against better players. But going against those better players, it helps you and properly learn what you could do and what you can do to avoid that situation in the future, whether it was your positioning or your ability usage. But that just in general is just a helpful tip. Just play the game. If you don't want to be yelled at in your competitive games, well, go learn in quick play. If you're having problems with like your mechanical skill, you can go do a deathmatch and just keep practicing and figuring out what your sensitivity, crosshairs, and all that stuff that you need to set up in order to progress. Guys, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that will provide you with very useful and very educational tips and tricks. Now, I know a lot of them seem very clickbaity and a lot of them talk about the same sort of things, but just in general, play the game is the biggest one I could tell you. And it's okay to go into a custom game and just learn the map. Your situational awareness, what you can do with your character, what you can't do, what can you climb on, always trying to get the high ground. All those things are very, very useful. Go do a custom game. If you are having problems on Volskaya Industries, well, go into a game, a custom game, and just go walk around. What can you do? If you're Tracer, can you teleport somewhere that you didn't think that you could? If you're Torbjorn, look at where you can position your turrets just to, in general, counter the enemy. Learn the sounds and your situational awareness, and then worry about your mechanical skill. See the patterns that people do in your ratings. I have went from bronze to diamond and to masters 3 times, starting from the very lowest. First time was learning, second time was for giggles, I guess you could say, and then the third time I really wanted to dive in and figure out what is the problem that people are having. And people are asking me, well, you're a smurf, this and this. Well, what exactly is a smurf? A smurf is what I've always understood, coming from long ago in gaming. A smurf is someone that's out of their skill rating, playing at a lower skill rating to basically trash on the other team. But if that's the case, if someone else is in bronze, and you say that bronze or silver or gold or platinum is your elo hell, for one, I never believe in elo hell. If you're good enough to get out of your rank, then you're good enough to get out of your rank. There's no ands, if, or buts about it. Just man up and say, hey, I'm not doing that well right now. What can I do to improve? There is no elo hell because I went from the very bottom to some of the top percentages. And it's okay. You're stuck there for a reason. What can you do to improve? Choosing hero compositions, choosing when you should be able to switch, choosing every single thing around you is very important. And let's lead that into one of the next things. Let's talk about hero composition. I want a game in Platinum with 5 supports and 1 tank. Hero composition all determines on how well you play that hero. End of story. And if you're able to get a Torbjorn on your team, that's even a Torbjorn main, maybe you should say, hey, well, this guy's not going to switch, so maybe I should just back him up instead and go Arisa. Or I should go Reinhardt to block the turret and be able to provide that Torbjorn main some help. But these are just a few tricks, tips, and links to people that can even help you further than I can. I don't like making hero guides or anything like that because there's so many out there that can explain it better than I can. And this is just my way of driving you guys in the right direction so that you can improve and get out of your rating. Well, everybody, this is Echo. I hope you guys get to the rating that you really want. Like I said, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Comment down below if these tricks and tips really helped you or the links that I provided helped at all. Alright, remember, let's make gaming fun again, and I'm out, people. Peace.